up, and the first thing that I was craving, of course, when I got home were those darn biscuits. We went to a couple of places, including Loveless Cafe, which is really famous down in Tennessee, and Husk, and all of these biscuits had a thing in common was that they were all really nice, light and fluffy on the inside. And I think that the trick, because I did see this at Loveless Cafe, they had this window where you could see people making the biscuit dough, and I checked out and I scoped out that they were using soft winter wheat flour, and I think a chef had told us in culinary school that that's what they did down in the south. It has less gluten, less protein in it, so it's less tough when you make it, and I think that that is going to be the secret ingredient for these guys. And of course I am making them vegan with coconut oil and then a little bit of earth balance, but it really tastes really good. You can mix it with, you know, some gravy, and you have the perfect kind of awesome southern meal. So I can't wait to show you guys the recipe, so let's head over to the kitchen.
Okay, so I'm starting off by pouring a half a cup of melted coconut oil into a butter container, and the reason is I'm just going to put this in the freezer afterwards and then cut it up into little chunks, very much like butter, so I wanted that to be mimicked. And then this is soy creamer. Soy creamer is a lot a little richer, a little bit thicker than normal, let's say normal nut milk. So I'm going to be making my own buttermilk here. So a tablespoon of lemon juice and then 3/4 of a cup of that soy creamer. And I'm just going to set it aside for about a half an hour or so. And then this is 2 cups of that White Lily soft wheat flour. Okay, and this is self-rising, so it already has a little bit of the baking powder right in it. So if you don't have that, feel free to just add it into maybe a little bit of all-purpose flour. This is turmeric. I added that in because we'll be using kind of this white coconut oil, and there's no kind of yellowness from the butter, but if you don't want that color, you don't have to add it in. So surprisingly, this did not cut that much like butter. It cut kind of like chocolate. It kind of flaked off a little bit, so I'm just going to make it a little bit easier for myself. I'm going to cut it into pretty big chunks, add in a little bit of salt into that, and then just mix it until everything is homogenized. So I'm just going to put in that coconut oil now, and I left it in okay big chunks, as you can see, because later on I'll be rolling it out, and it was a medium warm day, and I didn't want anything to melt too easily. So I'm just starting off with a fork right now, so I'm not using my hands. Eventually I do, though, because the chunks were in the freezer a little bit too long, so it kind of got really hard, but pretty, I would say like medium-sized pebbles. You don't have to get it too small. So this has actually, the buttermilk has actually thickened up a bit. You can't really see it there, but I'm just going to add that in probably a half at a time. I'm just going to mix it around just to make sure that everything is absorbed before I add in more. And I'm also using a fork and, let's say, not a mixer, because I don't want to over-mix this, even though it's with the soft wheat, low gluten flour. I don't want to over-mix it. So just until everything is combined, and then using that frisbee method to throw my flour, again the soft wheat flour, I'm just going to put everything onto the surface, and then rather than really kneading it, I'm more so pushing all of the dough together just until it is cohesive, and then I can start rolling it out a little bit. So this is a method that I use all the time with pie dough. If you want any dough to be flaky, you want to just kind of vaguely roll it out and then fold it into 3 and then roll it out again. And I did this for about 3 to 4 times, and you can see even as I'm rolling, I'm not really kind of overworking the dough. I'm more like kind of squishing out the dough. So I did that about 4 times, folding it into 3, and then for the final stage, I want to roll it to about a half an inch thick, and then I'm using the pastry scraper to make sure that it is not stuck to the table, and then using kind of this biscuit cutter. It really depends on how big you want your biscuits, but I'm just going to cut up the biscuits and then put it onto a greased cast iron skillet, because that's what I'm going to be cooking it in. And I actually greased it with a little bit of earth balance, because that kind of has that nice buttery flavor. And surprisingly, that amount of dough actually makes about, I'd say, like 14 of my semi-mini biscuits. So I'm just filling that in right now, and then that last little piece I kind of scrunched together to make that last one up on the side. So a little bit more earth balance. I think I melted about 2 tablespoons of earth balance total, and then very liberally I'm just brushing the top, and that's going to give me some color as well as some butter flavor, and then just ensure that the biscuits don't stick together. So in a really hot oven, 475, I'm going to put it in for about 10 minutes, check it, and I think totally these biscuits needed about 13, 14 minutes, just until they're golden brown, because I wanted to make that color pop and then also have a little bit of that crunchy top without kind of overdoing it. So you can see how nice everything looks. I'd wait a couple minutes because these guys are super hot before you take them out. I think these are 2 to 3 minutes old, and then I just wanted you to see how nicely they poofed up, even just with that self-raising flour. And then my second one, this is the one where you can really see the layers that we made and what we kind of worked on with the dough. So that's actually a huge difference, and a lot of people don't know that. They just think like, oh, these biscuits happen to be super fluffy because, you know, of what flour you're using or whatever method or how thick or thin you cut the butter. But it's really like, if you want layery biscuits or if you want layery dough, you're gonna have to put in a little bit of hard work and then just to do a couple times of folding and that puff pastry technique. So just took a bite out of that. Look at how good that looks. Nice and yellow and crumbly and soft and flaky. I love these biscuits. I'm so surprised that they turned out, you know, equally as good, if not better, than I think the real deal. So yeah, so just ripping up the little pieces for you. See how soft they look and how flaky. Like it's awesome. These were the awesomest vegan biscuits ever. I was so proud of them. Anyways, there you guys go. Look at those layers. My vegan buttermilk biscuits, obviously not made with buttermilk. Now, if you guys happen to like this recipe, as usual, please click like and subscribe. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye.